Hey guys, welcome back to my makeup tutorials and videos. My name is Kelly Galarno for those who don't know, and earlier today I gave a little bit of a teaser. I'm putting up an old picture of me from when I was about 19
saying stay tuned, video to come.
So for any of you guys who watch makeup tutorials on YouTube or follow any big beauty bloggers or
YouTube video creator extraordinaires,
you probably have seen me how I did my makeup in high school challenge.
And I just thought that was super fun and something that I wanted to do for you guys. One, because who doesn't like to walk down memory lane? And two, who doesn't need a good scare on a Friday night? So we're going to get into this. And
I am going to show you how I used to do my makeup.
Nothing like how I do my makeup now.
So a little bit of backstory on me.
I actually never went to high school, so I went from the 8th grade to college.
So I was 14 when I started college. Yes, I know. And that could be a whole video in and of itself. But long story short,
I was homeschooled and I was excelling academically, and my mom felt that I would do best in that type of rigorous environment. And so I took the entrance exams and I passed, and so I started college at 18. And I was a college senior when I was 19. So
for me, I didn't have the high school, how I did my makeup in high school. It's more how I did my makeup in college.
Those are my high school years.
So anyway, if you guys want to see how I used to do my makeup, have a little stroll back through the mid to late 90s, reminisce together, then stay tuned. I was trying to remember how I did my makeup, and I had to look back at some old pictures. So I will share some of those with you guys throughout this, and I had to sit down and really think about it.
And then it all just kind of came flooding back, and I really remembered. And so I went to look for some of those products, and
I was a little astounded that some of them were actually still there, and some were not. So I did the best I could, but shout out to Ulta for having a CoverGirl section, because pretty much when I was between the ages of 14 and 21, I could have been a representative for CoverGirl. I really started getting interested in makeup when I was about somewhere between 10 and 12, and my mom would let me experiment with her makeup, but I could never leave the house.
And I just remember using all sorts of bright colors. I was just mesmerized and fascinated with color.
And would always have the brightest pink cheeks that you could imagine, the bluest eyeshadow possible. I was obsessed. And as I got a little bit older and started being able to wear it outside of the house,
that kind of trend continued. I just was really, I just liked, there was nothing subtle about my makeup.
I wore makeup. I loved it. And my grandma, who also helped teach me a little bit about makeup, she had a ton of Mary Kay in her bag. So,
there were no YouTube videos, there were no tutorials, there was no guidance. How to wear makeup was passed along folklore from mother to daughter.
So if you had a mom who wore makeup, you lucked out and you learned how to wear makeup, and if you didn't, then you didn't.
Because you couldn't go consult anyone about how to wear makeup. You just had to have somebody teach you, in person. So
that was kind of my backstory with makeup. And then as soon as I was able to buy it and wear it, I did. And of course, I obsessively bought CoverGirl because I thought that was where it was at. The first thing that I always did, and I forgot to buy this, but one thing that my mom did instill in me was good skincare, and she used this Oil of Olay moisturizer, and it had SPF in it, and I always remember putting that on after I would get out of the shower. So I
didn't buy any of that because I remembered that after the fact. So I'm going to cheat and just use a little of my own moisturizer.
Just so that we can simulate this and get this as close to possible. So after moisturizer, I of course put concealer on, and I used, now they didn't have the same CoverGirl one that I had.
I remember having one that was a blue or a green top maybe.
So this was the literally only one I could find and the only color. So it's, what shade is this?
Light? Ivory fair? I don't know.
It was the latest one I could find. And I would do this, and I would get right up underneath. And then if I had any zits, I would cover those up too. And
then I would take my fingers and rub it in. We didn't have makeup brushes back then. There were no Morphe, Unique, whatever nice sets of brushes. Those didn't exist.
We used our fingers. Where was that? So yeah, I would just, rub that in. And sometimes I would go over my eyes too with it. 'Cause why not?
Oh, this feels awful.
And then I did the foundation over, and I also remember buying, I don't remember the
It was,
name.
like in a green or blue top. I don't know if you guys remember that, but
That's what I wore, and I always wore ivory. That was my shade.
I don't know how I decided that was my shade. Somebody told me that was my shade. I think I matched it to my wrist, which is now, I know, a big no-no, but
That's what I did, and I would just literally,
right here, oh, that's, holy buckets, that's a lot.
okay, that's runnier than I remember.
And then I would just with my fingers, oh, this smells terrible.
Oh, this smells like sunscreen and oh, like bug spray. This is gross.
What is this? Oh, does this have it smells like Noxema.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So yeah, that's what I would do with my foundation. I would just rub it in. I don't really understand blending. Like, I didn't blend into my neck really. I just kind of, worked it in until I thought it went, oh.
I break out after this video. It's probably, I mean, it's my own fault, but oh, I'm gonna have to like detoxify my face tonight. That pancakey effect, you just, you kind of caked it on.
And then, because concealer and foundation are not enough,
We added pressed powder on top. I remember getting one that was like a green package,
green seems to be the theme here.
but this is in the shade Classic Ivory.
And, you remember the little spongy? So, I would just,
That and, oh yes, all over.
I mean, pancake, full effect right here.
This wasn't like the same kind of makeup brands that there are now. So then I went straight for blush. You all have to remember these little CoverGirl blushers.
They still make them. And I would always choose, like, the really, like, bright little bubblegum pink.
Cannot not use the little, I mean, this was,
You want to talk about my makeup brush set? This was it. This, right here. My makeup brush set.
and I didn't understand where to put blush, so I was just told to smile and like put it on. So this is what I did.
Oh, my God.
Jesus, take the wheel.
It was a really nice look because it was like, is she excited? Is she feverish? Is she a clown? It's a little unclear.
And then if I felt like I'd gotten a little too heavy-handed, I would do this. Yeah, that's as good as that's getting.
Okay, there was no primers, there was no eyeshadow primer, there was no eyebrow help for sure. Eyebrows were just not a thing back then. They weren't.
Nobody paid attention to them. And so I would occasionally get my brows waxed at the discretion of my mother, who couldn't stand looking at my caterpillar brows anymore. But generally they were just, even though they were waxed here and they maybe had a little bit of arch to them, they were
Fuzzy and big and misshapen.
And so obviously my eyebrows are not like that anymore, but to be authentic, I'm going to try and recreate them. Now my left brow was always the worst of the two. That's my Walmart brow. I had like these hairs that were just kind of untamed.
It's hard for me to not draw right.
They were really furry though. I think I'm conveying the furriness. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I had these hairs. That's about right.
Okay, so now that we have completely recreated that,
We're going to go into eyeshadow. Now, like I said earlier, I was really into blues and pinks and purples, occasionally a brown or two, but my jam was blue eyeshadow. Like, I don't know if I just was channeling my inner 70s child, if it was a product of what was taught to me. I blame the makeup companies a little bit for this because I don't know if you remember, like Almay especially, they came out with these like eyeshadow palettes and it was like 4 blue eyes and they were always like blues. And I was like, oh, well, I have blue eyes. I must have to match my eyeshadow to my eye color.
no, that is not true, and you stop it. I see you makeup brands, you need to knock that off. But anyway, oh, here was my other makeup brush. Y'all remember these? Yeah, you do.
I could not find a blue silver in CoverGirl, like anywhere. They had actually really nice colors, so
Props to you. Not that these aren't nice, but you know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't, it wasn't right.
Revlon, shout out to you. This is, what is this called? Color Stay 16-hour eyeshadow. Do they have a name for their little palette here? Ooh, number 528, Passionate.
So that's good. So, I didn't understand blending. Like, that wasn't a thing. One thing that I give myself credit for, and I don't know how I learned this, I don't know if somebody taught it to me, I knew that I was supposed to have lighter shadow in the inner corner, so I did do that. That's like my little shout-out props to myself.
Okay, that's gorgeous. And then I would take,
Flip your little brush around.
and then I'd go in with those dark blues. And I would just, and what I thought a smoky eye was supposed to be was this like harsh triangle. And I'm not even really sure how I understood about a smoky eye. I think I just probably somebody said something, you know, and then that's kind of how I don't know. Wow, this is gorgeous. I love this. That's good. That's good. And then what I would do is, because I would obviously like get way too much on that side, I can't believe I'd do this.
I would take concealer and cover it up like that. That's what I did. Oh, it's so bad.
That's lovely. Oh, that's where it's at. It's where it's at. So that was it.
You guys didn't live in the 90s if you did not have a pencil jet black. It had to be jet black eyeliner.
And you wore it everywhere. Inside, outside, upside down.
Okay.
Eyeliner was where it's at. And of course you got all these like black smudgies on your inside corner. I had a trick for that too. Probably guess what it is. Concealer. Yep, I would go back in, not even joking, and I would put concealer in the inside corner of my eye. Like I said, it was like the one like sort of clue that I had towards makeup was that you were supposed to have lighter on the inside corner of your eye. But I don't know how I knew that, and that's smudging the black. So that's good. I got
Got a Courtney Love effect going on there. That's super. Now,
I didn't wear bronzer at first, but a couple years into my makeup, somebody told me about bronzer. And so I would wear this one by Physicians Formula. This isn't the exact one, but it was the closest one I could find. The one I had like pinks and greens in it too. I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but I couldn't find that. So we're just going to go with this one. And of course, I just went in with my blush brush because why not?
what I was told was that you put bronzer where the sun like hits your face. So I would do it on my nose. Ooh, that's unfortunate.
And then I would do it, I did do it on my forehead. Somehow I didn't know to do that. So I guess that's a little pre-shadowing to contouring. I would put it like this. But I wouldn't do like the cheekbones. I would actually just kind of go in on top of the blush.
And do a little bit of this is what I did. And I did my chin, which is a big no-no, but you know. So that's what I did.
Right there. A little more on the nose. That was that.
Okay, guys, like, if you didn't have this mascara, you weren't legit.
I mean, I can't believe they still make this, one. And two, I can't believe it was almost sold out. Like, people are still buying this. Like, props to you if you are still rocking the Maybelline Great Lash. Now, my mom always tried to get me to wear brown black because of my coloring. No way, man. It had to be blackest of black, which this is called Blackest Black. Fitting.
Yeah, that's still smells the same. Having flashbacks. Flashbacks to Biology 101.
There we go. That's beautiful. And last but not least, lips. Now, lips, again, were not a huge thing. Like, people had red lips, but I was always taught that that was what hookers wore. Like, you don't wear dark, bold lips.
It's not ladylike. And I didn't want to wear lipstick because that's what grandmas wore. And I didn't want to wear liner because that's what grandmas wore. Lipsticks weren't really a thing. It just wasn't. Liquid lipsticks didn't exist. You have very limited options when it came to lips. It was like lipsticks and lip glosses or chapstick. So beyond the Bon Bell lip snackers, which we all rocked. Hello, Dr. Pepper.
I thought that I was such a badass because my mom started letting me shop at Victoria's Secret when I was about like 15, 16 years old. And they had just started coming out with some makeup. And one of the things that they came out with was lip gloss. And they used to come in these like squeezy tubes that almost looked like the old Balmex packaging. And they had this pink one that I was obsessed with.
And I wore it all the time. Now, I went back to Victoria's Secret. They did not have them in the squeezy tubes anymore, but they did have them like this.
And it was very similar. So we're just going to pretend that it's the same for the sake of argument. And that's, I wore a baby pink lip pretty much consistently. That was, that was it. And that, ladies and gentlemen.
And let me just poof up my hair. It's not curly because it's too short, but let me get some volume in there for you so you can really appreciate my 16-year-old self here.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
Oh, and then if I had a smudge, you see my mascara smudge there? Or eyeliner smudge? I mean, who knows at this point?
It's like caked on. I would go in, no joke, over the powder. That was my spot treatment. Was just rubbing more concealer on my face. That was it. that's it, guys. Finished look. Hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, feel free to follow and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. You can also find me on Instagram. You can find me on Snapchat. You can find me on Pinterest. You can find me pretty much everywhere but Twitter. And it's all Kelly Galarno. Please, please, please drop pictures below. I want to see your high school or your college makeup photos. Let's all laugh together about how far we've come. And tell me if you use any of these products. Like, let's have a bonding moment. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye. Because that were my high school year. Wow, English not so good today. I don't even know what they're called. Not quartets. I don't know. But anyway. Do you guys remember that Noxzema smell? Do you know what I'm trying? Designed for, I don't know what that smell is, you all. I wish you could smell. I mean, it literally smells like you're in the woods camping with bug spray and Noxzema. It's going to happen. So here we go. Oh, this is like burning my face. Like, it legitimately, like, I'm tingling right now, and not in like a happy way. If I, felt like I needed more, let's just go for it, man. Oh, I have a hair stuck. Oh, get that, and oh yes, all over. I mean, pancake.